G'day guys, my name's Josh, you can call me JaWoodle, and welcome to 7 Days 1.0. This is the full release. The game has gone gold, it's no longer alpha or anything, it is out of early access, which means there are traditions that we have to uphold. For all the other alphas, we've done the same thing, and whenever a brand new update of this game comes out, we've got to put it to the test. We've got to test the zombies and see how base building works. And this isn't going to cop any different treatment. So, welcome to JaWoodle Park 1.0. Doesn't look like much now, but I promise you it will. Because it's time, as always, we put this game to the test. So if you're unaware of what JaWoodle Park is and why it's called JaWoodle Park, well, first of all, welcome to a JaWoodle video. Go subscribe, it's just down there. But welcome to a JaWoodle video. God, I'm bad at self-promotion. JaWoodle Park is where I go to test out this game. I love the base building, the Horde base building in this game so much that I just want to build bases all the time and see what I can get away with and how I can control the zombies that normally wander around just like Arlene over there. So that's what I've come back to do today. The game may be new and fresh, but some old base designs will hopefully still work. And I want to give, as always, I want to give it the first go to the killing corridor. Some way, an easy, simple base to build for anyone, new players, advanced players, whoever, to fight off the zombie hordes without having to dig half a mountain worth of materials and spend all week doing the boring stuff and not go on raiding. Got to build clean, efficient horde bases. That's what I'm here to do. I'm going to try and explain like what I'm doing and why I'm doing things as I go. So if you are a complete beginner in this game, which will be a lot of you actually, because this is coming to console in this update as well, which is very exciting. If you're a complete beginner, you should be able to follow this and build this horde base. If you're struggling to get through Blood Moon hordes, this will get you there. And the first thing that you ever want to do, that I ever want to do, is just get some elevation. I normally go about 6 or 7 blocks up, just in my basic stairs at the moment, so that's 4 blocks, 5, and then 6. So that's how tall I want it to be in the end. I always doesn't have to be concrete. I'm just building out of that right now. This will work with some pretty basic materials, because the goal here is not to just brute force the zombies, try and get them to, like, try and defeat them before they break stuff. I want to try and make sure they're not going to break stuff. That's like the crux of the killing corridor, what it's always been. So what's that? A nice 6 block high. Nice and easy, high up enough that they shouldn't really worry about beating on the supports down here. And from there, just going to build a nice little platform for them to run along. Elevation is always super important. I will quickly say as well, like, even though I've got God mode on at the moment, this isn't a creative world. This is just a normal world. I've just been able to fly, basically, and spawn my own materials to save the grind. Nothing else has been changed. I haven't turned physics off. Whatever works here will work in any game of 7 days. I hope it bloody works, but these stairs here will work. It does slow the zombies down as well, because they take some time to jump up these big blocks here. What I like to normally do, just a little bit of refinement to make it a little bit smoother, is chuck in these stairs, just like the regular stairs filled, all the way up there, and then on the sides, where are you? That one, get these corner stairs and chuck them in like that, purely because I want to try and stop any zombies getting trapped. If they get stuck somewhere, they'll start swinging their mitts around and do some damage. That's what I'm trying to avoid. So with this, if a zombie's running up from this way, because they will take a longer route to get to you, if they can't get to you this way, they will pathfind. They will find a way to get to you of least resistance. If that goes up, they'll run past you this way, up and around. So I want to make this angle here as little as possible. So if they try and run up this bit, they're not going to get stuck right there. They're going to pop up onto the next stairs and keep on cruising up and up to where I want them to be. That's kind of like, it's not super duper necessary, just a nice little smoothing feature to make things run a little bit seamlessly. Now this is where we start getting into some actual important stuff. As you're building along, you will start to notice a change in the color of the block. See, there we go. Now I'm using concrete that has a span. If you want to get into the math of it all, it's got horizontal support of 120. It weighs 10, so you can go 12 blocks out from your support before it starts collapsing. But as it starts getting yellow, that's when you know you're getting close. And as soon as it's pink, if I'm gonna do it anyway, the next block you place is going to collapse your whole construction. So you do have to pay attention to that. Don't just start plonking down blocks all willy-nilly, because you will have a collapse at the worst possible time. Don't ask me how I know that. I've been through the walls on that one a little bit. Definitely some experiences. So to save that happening, obviously just chuck down another support. You do want to brace your little bridge wherever you can. The more supports you put in, the more structurally sound it's going to be. But as I said at the start, I'm trying to make these bases as efficient as possible. The least amount of materials you can get to make something that's actually viable. So a nice big span across them. I have added in some nice little rampy blocks like that just to make it look a little bit nicer. You don't have to do things like that, but, well, actually, you do have to do things like that, because aesthetics always matter. If you're gonna build a box to try and survive, just feed yourself to the zombies instead. Don't build ugly bases. It's gross. This is actually much longer than I initially planned, but that's okay. It's all looking good. So from here, in fact, I probably should have tested this before I started building all the rest of it. This is where I want to build what's called, or what I've called, a zombie dropper. Now, this has worked since they brought in this new zombie pathfinding back in Alpha 17. In fact, that's when it kind of came to be in the first place, when these smart zombies started being a thing. It's gone through so many iterations, but I need to test to see if the normal, like the Alpha 21 version, the most recent version, still works. And for that, I'm gonna need a wedge 60, and I'm gonna need to turn you upside down like that. Now, the reason this works is because originally, zombies used to not be able to walk across these blocks, so you could place them like this, like a trough, and they would slip off the edge because these blocks were slippery to them. To combat that, the Fun Pimps just went to these blocks and said, these can now be walked on, which worked for this, but for this one, that coding is still in place. They still think they can walk on it, even when it's upside down. So if I go all the way along like you, and then on top of that, I'm gonna need a half block, which is just you. I can hold R looking at a different block and say copy rotation. That will get the appropriate rotation going. I'm going to need some more support though, because we're about to collapse everything, but that's kind of like the critical component, assuming this works. That's the critical zombie dropper part. So you got to have those upside down wedges with a block on top. So when they're running along, and this is a little bit taller than it currently is, they can't actually stand on top of this because this is here. So they just go bonk, 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 and they fall down the middle. That's kind of like the critical component. It's a bit more to it, but that is a pretty good cross-section of how it's going to be. I really did go overboard by building this extra span. I'm probably going to build this about where this pylon is, but that's all right. I'll let bygones be bygones. I've built this up now to where it should be a pretty viable option. It's 3 blocks tall, and I'll put a roof on this because if zombies get kind of clogged up, they'll start climbing on top of each other, kind of like World War Z, to get over and through walls. So if I have this any shorter, they can get on top of these blocks and run across, like I said before. So to try and combat that, I'm going to get the edge 60 again. I'm just going to go on the front of you, hold R, the advanced rotation down the bottom, spin you right around, just kind of like with the stairs where I don't want to have any sort of way for the zombies to get stuck. Same again, and on this side, going to go, yep, just like that, boop, 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 along them. So as they run up, they slide along here, into the slot, and down they go. And that should be, oh geez, suddenly I'm nervous. That should be enough to give this a go and see if this is actually still gonna work. So quickly pop out of my body. Oh, where am I? Yep, g'day hot stuff. How you doing? Twiddle your mustache at me for me, even though it's not purple. I mean, we have to do it. We have to do it with our old friend Arlene, as is tradition after all. We're gonna go, Arlene, gonna get a couple of you, and just get you, if you can actually get your attention please, get you to come and say g'day up the top. There we go. Fire a gun to get their attention. You can see they run away from me to start with to get to the stairs. Run across in a very, very familiar fashion. Ooh, they're getting a little bit stuck. A little bit stuck on the entryway, but those ones fell down. Interesting. Interesting. Might need some refinement, but the mechanic is still there. It's just a little thin. Just not quite thick enough for Arlene. Just like me. Yeah, some things die hard apparently, not just the zombies. So when they fall, if they fall when they're too close to you, they go into what's called destroy everything mode, which actually I can show you by going like this. No, not one more. That Yeah, there we go. So see how it says destroy area? So they're no longer targeting me as the player. Like part of their coding now says there is something stopping me getting to you. Anytime they fall, it triggers this. So they're just going to start whacking on shit instead. Anything around, they'll start destroying stuff, which is fine. To stop them doing that, you have to do some damage to them and they'll start going back the way they came. But this is working. This is working. It's a little bit thin, but I can deal with that. But the zombie chopper, the killing corridor still works. It still lives. The upside down wedge zombie chopper works just fine. Now, I just got to deal with this. So fortunately, like that would be a massive issue. And it was a massive issue until there was a workaround. So fortunately, dealing with that, you can stop them going into destroy everything mode by just building your little bunker further away from where they fall. As long as they're falling far enough away from you, they won't go into that that destroy area mode at all. And the secret number is 11. So this is where they're falling. I'm going to count from here just to be safe. So I'm going to count 11 blocks out to the right. I don't know why you were yellow there for a second, but alright, fair enough then. I'm going to count 11 blocks out to the right and then paint a red line for me to stand behind, and that'll completely turn off that whole function. It's just makes it so much easier. And there you go. There's the 11 block span with the red line that I stand behind. I should be nice and safe down here, but looking at this is considerably bigger than I initially intended. So I'm going to break you apart. Right there, just collapse all of you. Thank you. I'm gonna rebuild these stairs a little bit closer because that's just too much. That's way too far, especially for like early game. Yes, I know it's concrete, but if you need to whack one of these bad boys up after midday on day 7 before the Blood Moon Horde gets here, it doesn't need to be this long. I'm gonna show you what the minimum is and you can expand on it how you want. There we go. That looks much better. In fairness, it was only like, what, another like 20 blocks of span. Really not that big of a problem in the first place, but this is a bit more compact, a bit more concise, and just easier to see the mechanics working. You can leave that extra span, no dramas at all, and in fact it gives you some extra time. If you put on like barbed wire or something, which I'll show you in a bit, it gives you more time with like a rifle or something to shoot down the line to try and kill the zombies, because that's why you have this. So with this one, if you stand right in the middle, all the zombies are just going to be right in the middle, right there. So if you have a pipe rifle, a bow and arrow, anything that's ranged, you can just sit here and plink the zombies down all night and have very little risk to your actual self, which is just so much better than immediately getting overrun by really, really ravenous zombies. So we're going to give this a go again. We're going to see, now that I'm far enough away, if the dropper still works, and importantly, if they still go into destroy everything mode. This is the one thing I'm significantly less confident about, because the fun peeps know about this. Whether they change this going into 1.0, we're about to find out. Let's get 10 Arlenes, and even though they're super close to me, they're going to run all the other way. You two need to stop doing that, please. Go back the other way with all of your friends. Interesting. So she's in destroy area earlier than she should have been, but these ones are the ones that's important. Are they going to run back the other way or start beating on any pillars? Uh-oh. Things might have changed. Things might have changed. We might need to do some fixing. Maybe it's not 11. Maybe we need to go a bit further away. There's got to be a number. I just got to find it. I've moved like another 2 blocks. The red line doesn't actually matter. It's just for an easy visual representation of how far back I am. So I'm now 13 blocks away. Which, actually, now that I think about it, was that the original number? Why do I think it was 11? I'll have to go back and check my own video from Alpha 21 at some point, but it may have been 13. I think I just got it wrong. I'm a professional. How long are we doing this for? I think I just got it wrong. 13 seems to be the number that's working out much, much better. They're still getting a little jammed up the top here, but now you can see like how that's going to work. Look at that. You've got a nice, easy shot. See her try to jump up then. Got a nice, easy shot right down the guts. So you can just plink and get, or if you could shoot, which I unfortunately cannot, you can just start plinking headshots right down the guts all bloody day long. Easy as you like. No real dramas. And that's why, like, especially for early bases where you have not so great weaponry, usually just like a single pipe weapon, this will work out really well. Because it's not about how much damage you can do at one time, it's how much time you can get to do the damage. So now that I know that they drop super consistently through this, I do want to test out something else. This is like OG JaWoodle Park stuff way back when, just doing all the science stuff to figure out how these zombies think. when the new brains came out in Alpha 17, when the new zombie AI came out, that was all of my days, was just going through and testing all this stuff. So, I'm going to quickly put in a cheeky little shark fin. I like to call it a shark fin because it looks like a fin underneath here, purely just to act as a breakwater, so when they fall, they split apart a little bit easier. But then I'm going to change this zombie dropper. This is like an internal one to keep them clumped, but because they're getting jammed up here, I want to try something different. So I'm just going to build a support down here so nothing collapses. We're going to try something new. So I think the easiest way for me to combat that like choke point effect that we're getting going on at the moment is just to quite simply swing the dropper around, and instead of having a funnel, have it just be like a pylon or wall, kind of like a breakwater, like a shark fin, like down there. So the same idea, it's the same blocks, it's just a V shape but inverted. And I'm going to get the same half blocks up the top. In fact, you're already lined up for this side. So this time, instead of having somewhere they're going to get jammed up like they were before, they're just going to get pushed out to the sides. And that should hopefully, fingers crossed, mean that they get jammed up a little bit less. The pathing still works. If they don't have a viable path, there's like, you can't just use any blocks for this. If they can't actually get to you in their mind, they'll go back to that destroy everything mode and just start beating on stuff. If there's no way for them to get to you, they'll break whatever you're standing in. So you do have to give them, as far as they're concerned, some way for them to get to you, but that's fine. Our brains are still mushy and not zombified, so we know better. While they may think they can get across this, we know they can't. Gotta outsmart the zombies, outsmart, overthink, and probably overcome. I actually quite like this, mostly because like this whole wall here is actually pretty redundant. I don't think you really need any of that, because they're not really gonna make it past like here. I'm not going to destroy it just yet, but I don't think they'll make it past that little red line, what's that, 2 blocks in, because there's nothing for them to stand on here. They'll fall down there almost immediately, which should make all of this, like all that material there, not super critical. I'm going to paint the underside as well, because I kind of like it, like here. There we go. Bloody beautiful. We're adding racing stripes to this for the extra 20 horsepower. Nice. Okay, I'm going to put my body back behind the 13 mark, so it's not 11, it's 13. Pretty sure it always was 13. I am just a flapping galah. Nice. So, Arlene, do you want to quickly run this for me, please? There we go. They're going to chuck a U-banger and head back up away from me. It's always so satisfying when they do actually run the way I want them to. And they should. Just like that. Just like that. In fact, you know what? Let's get a whole bunch more to see if any choke points do arise, but I don't think they should. This should just run basically like a screensaver. I'm far enough away from them that they shouldn't go into destroy everything mode. They'll just run up, run off the side. They will take swings at each other if they get blocked by another zombie, so some incidental damage happens here and there, but not really too much. And in fact, even better, if one does stop, the one coming up behind her just shoves her clean off the edge. There's no friends in the zombie game. It is all getting pushed across to the side. Still a little bit of grip there though, so get a little bit gummed up. I reckon I can make that a little bit smoother and we should be fine, but look at that. We have pet zombies now. Who has ant farms anymore, or what were the sea monkeys? The sea monkey jars? We don't need sea monkeys. We have zombie monkeys. The only downside I can see to this, remember like with the funnel, how say you can shoot right down the middle and get easy headshots all day? With this, you're a little bit blocked. If you had 2 people, you could like sit on either side and just look down one side each, but I don't have any friends, so I'm not really sure how that would work. I assume it would work though. But I mean, I'll think about that in a second. What I want to do, I want to get the narrow blocks. So these are actually relatively new blocks in the world of 7 days. They only came in the last alpha, and I love them. If you're ever building a garage, you need like a nice easy slope for your vehicle to get up, this is the way to go. But with the narrow blocks, we'll start with the halfer one. That should give me a much smoother incline than what I had before. So there'll be no grippy surface on the side of the wall for the zombies to get stuck on. You can go up like that, because look how narrow that is. It's like, it's taking the gradient of those wedge blocks from before and expanding over a whole extra block. Oh, that's like the bow of the Titanic. Where's Leo? Get up here and hold my hips. I'm king of the world up here. We'll do the same thing again and see how it goes. We'll go 10 Arlenes on this side. We'll go 10 Arlenes on that side. I'm sitting pretty, or ruggedly, I'm going to say, down the end. I'm not even holding my gun right or looking in the right direction. That seems to be... Look at the pile of zombies down there. That seems to be running much, much, much smoother. We'll get a quick little like top-down view so we can see exactly how they split. I might even paint you so I can see exactly where that split's gonna be. There is something incredibly satisfying about that. One of these days, I'm gonna make like a bunch of screensavers of just zombie pathings doing loops. And this is why it's called a cheese base, because this is effectively a completely AFK base. If you need to build something to keep yourself alive and keep the zombies out while you go make a cheeky hot Milo or something, or duck up the shops to get a snag roll, you can just build this. Don't have to pause the game. They can run if you're on a server that you can't pause and you want to stay logged in for smelting or something but don't have to worry about hordes. You can build something like this because look, completely AFK, completely works absolutely fine. No dramas. No dramas whatsoever. In fact, to the point where they've been running in circles so long they got bored. They got bored. They gave up trying to gobble me because the Dorito bag was too far away. Come on, everyone. Keep running. There you go. Like a zombie hamster in a little spinny wheel. It makes me happy. It makes me happy to see this kind of stuff. So it still works. The killing corridor is still undefeated. It is... I mean, it's actually not even that bad at all, is it? It's not that bad at all. If I get myself a rifle, I'll just grab... No, not that one. I'll grab you. I'll grab a scope. That one will do. And I'll chuck you onto there. Just have a quick little gander right down the guts. You. Reload that nice and quick so I can have a look. I mean, yeah, that'd be absolutely perfect. Where's one I can shoot? There's one. Just like that. Just like that. You can pepper them all day long. No. Oh, I mean, assuming you weren't like me and could actually hit one of them, that's perfect. In fact, with AP ammo penetrating through multiple zombies, just take it to the bank. Take it to the bank. It's basically cash. So that's the basics. Like, that's like the critical component done. Once you have that down, you can build whatever you like over here. I'll do a couple of designs in a second to like deal with birds and stuff like that. But if you have that going, you're sitting pretty. You're all gravy like on a roast chook. I want to try one more thing with that. I want to go back to that funnel mechanism so you have a better line of sight down the guts, but I also want to try and make this a bit more viable for range damage. But before I do that, I had something I wanted to do, and I got so distracted by thinking about building I've now forgotten. What did I want to do before I did that? I'm not sure. I've forgotten, but I will just say, as a cheeky little safety measure, just chuck something up the top here. If you do have something weird happen and a zombie gets stuck on someone else's head or whatever and does try to get up onto the top, if you have something like this, there's nowhere for them to go. They're not going to get stuck back there because there's nothing there for them. If you're really worried about it, you can build an extra one out here like that, just to make sure they can't get on top. If they can get on top, they can run across the whole thing and then you get eaten. So try to avoid that if you can. But with this, if they do start piling up, they're going to bonk their little noggins anyway and go nowhere. So yeah, just setting up the top there, nice and simple, nice and easy. I forgot what the thing was going to be. I forgot what it was going to be. Oh well, too late, never mind. Let's try and fix this. So really, I mean, it's pretty simple. Really, I just got to find a way to be able to push them to the outskirts of that block with a block that I can see through and shoot through, which there are a few different options, like railings and bars and stuff like that. Ooh. Bars center quarter, that's new. That is a new block. Have they given me a new block to play with? More importantly, a new block that can block zombies and can be, oh my goodness, and can be shot through? I think they've solved the problem for him before I even had a chance to realize it was an issue. Because if I go like that, it's the same thing. I mean, it's a bit more ham-fisted than the nice shark fin we had before that slices through like the bow of a ship, but I mean, I can see right up the guts of that. They're going to get to here. They are going to get stuck a bit. It's not quite as smooth a transition as I would like it to be. We'll give it a go. We'll give it a go and just see how it runs. I don't have high expectations for this, but you never know until you know. Couple of Arlenes. I will fire the rifle. And in fact, I'll stay in my body. Because look, this is going to be much, much easier to shoot them. And they still fall off the side. But they get trapped. They get trapped there way more consistently. That's not... It works. I mean, ostensibly, it does work. It's not perfect. It'll do the job. I'll put in some extra bars along you, just so if they do get around that first little nubbin, they still can't get onto the platform on the other side. Still think they can walk on the invisible part of the block, so no real issues there. Oh, my game's gone a bit gooey, but that's all fine. I just don't like it. Yeah, it'll do the job in a pinch. I just don't think it could. I think it could be better, basically. I'll get them running again. They're gonna go all the way down that way. I just don't like that they get stuck on the front side of it, though. In fact, you know what? Just for fun, just because, you know, we're here to muck about and have a good time doing it. Let's get some AP ammo and wait for them to conga line up again. There was no one behind you. There you go. There's a few. You get multi-kills. Rifles with AP ammo is a really bloody good time. It's good. And then there's perks make it even better again, but even so, I mean, that's working fine. Other than just getting stuck there, that is actually working pretty good. What I'm really hoping for is something like this. In fact, bars diagonal might even do it, except the slats, oh, the slats go in a really annoying way. It's gonna block a lot of your vision, like looking through that. I mean, you can, and the railings don't actually block the bullets either. With the scaffolding ladders, so I have to test those actually. With the scaffolding ladders, these will block like the round going through. So if I had just an Arlene on the outside out there, I mean from here, clearly she can't be seen, but if I can shoot through that, still gonna hit her. So that's all fine. I mean, that will kind of work, I guess, but maybe there's a better one. If I can find like a 60-degree or even less degree rails or bars, that's going to be even better again. Rail, no angular pieces, no angular bars either. All right, we'll give these a go then. They may work out, they may not. I mean, kind of like the, what was the middle? Oh, geez, hang on, that's not what I was doing at all. Kind of like the bar corner, that one, it could work, but not perfectly, but we'll see. You know what? It's actually not that bad. It's not nearly as bad as I was expecting it to be. Let's get a couple of Arlenes out there then. Please join me up in the Horde base. Oh, for a second there I thought they were running the wrong way. In fact, some of them are. Oh no, they're fine. They're going back the other way. They were just thinking about it. Well, that's even worse. That's even worse than what we had before. They're getting stuck so much more because it's actually sticking out so much more than the wedges were. I think if it were me, I would just deal with the slightly less line of sight. Like, this is good because you can see all the way across. If I had to have a penetrating block there, I would go with those bar corners. These... Oh. I mean, it's completely bricked their AI, but the problem is that is the same health points as the blocks I'm standing on. So they've decided the path of least resistance now is to break this instead of breaking that. It's a full block, blocking their route, so nah. I think this is a bust. The one last thing I want to test on you before I move on to like the bunker down the end, I'm testing a lot of things today, is real quick, the wedgies, but the corner wedgies. Where are you? You're in here somewhere. I want to build that chute again, but with a bigger gap down the middle, so they're still going to run at me with a nice line of sight, but then there's more room for them to not get bogged up when they do finally make it to the dropper. But to do that, there you are. I'm going to need you. I'm going to get you and swing you, oh, actually, all the way around. I'll replace that block in a second, but I want to get the flat side up the top. Not like you. Yeah, like you. That's the way. So that one can go there. And on the other side, I'm going to do the same thing again, like that. So that way, in fact, you can go, I kind of already see how it's going. Oh, actually, that was what I did. That was what I did in Alpha 21. You beauty. You beauty. Okay, hang on a second. I've got to get rid of that block and chuck in, yeah, that one. I forgot about the little killing corridor doodle right in the middle. It's been so long since I built these things, I forgot my own designs. Yep, sick. I was almost done. I would have it die hard. You'd think by now I'd have learned. You'd think by now I'd have learned to not collapse my own structures. I hate me sometimes. It's definitely one of those do as I say, not as I do moments, because I am a genuine Muppet, but at least now I can give you kind of a better, I should have given you the first time actually, a cross-section of how this is going to work. Because it's the same mechanic as what we were using before. You have these upside down wedge 60s underneath. I think they can walk on it, but they can't. But it's a much bigger box than it was before. And in fact, a little piece to resist on, so a little sprinkle of fuck yeah that you chuck on the top of this little cake of deliciousness, like it's a bloody pavlova, is... Where are ya? There's a little piece that goes on the end of this. Is it you? Actually, I think it might be. Grab you, flip you around so you're facing the right way, please, and just make that little doodle proper. There you go. It's a little tiny chode of a horde base, but it works, because as far as the zombies are concerned, I'll see if I can show you with this. If I get a different block, if I get like some wood blocks, in their mind, this whole area here is taken up with blocks. They see it like this, which is the same on the other side. So they're looking at that going, you bloody beauty, mate. Look at all the pathing I have. Look at all the blocks I have to walk on. Unfortunately for them, though, that's not quite how physics works, and they'll fall right through the gap down here. So that was the wedge 60 slope corner 02, if you want to put that extra little tip on the end there. I don't think the tip is super duper necessary. I just think it's funny, but having this little angular piece on here definitely is, because it really draws them further in. So they're starting in the middle, and in fact, you know what, if we really want to go bananas with it, we can get rid of the tip, and we can go the regular wedge 60s. We can put you out on the front like that. So they're going to make their way so much further into the middle of the drop and then fall. Just kind of like extra insurance. Not super necessary, going to revert it back to the little doodle, but just, you know, if you want to do it like that, really hedge your bets and build the dropper longer, you can. Look at that. Look how seamless that is. There's no chunks at all. We don't have to build any shark fins. There's no chunks for them to get stuck on. They come to here, they drop down the side. Easy bloody peasy. The only thing I want to do to make this a little bit nicer is get some bars again. Same thing as what I was talking about a while ago, just building something on top to stop them getting anywhere close to getting on top of this. Make sure I'm keeping an eye on my structural stability though, because I do not want to collapse this again. In fact, it's starting to get a little bit pissy, a little bit yellow, so I'll leave you. And there you go. And that should work absolutely perfectly. At least I bloody hope it does. I'll paint the second row where I'm sure they're going to get to again, just so I have a nice little reference point, but that looks pretty bloody bang on. Get some more Arlene's out there. G'day, Arles. Your AI was not off to start with. My gun was just too suppressed. There we go. Everyone's gonna come and say hello. Well, look at the window you have to shoot through now. Oh, that's... I couldn't even resist. That's so much better. There's nothing to get stuck on. Straight through either side. No whammies, no nothing. That's top notch. Now, you know what? Listen, the first ones I built were like super simple, super straightforward if you really needed to, but this one's the go, surely. So much easier to see right down the middle so you can actually do some damage. You can throw some Molotovs if you need to, grenades, whatever, rocket launchers if you're feeling especially bold about it. Look at him go. Look at him go. Just running the maze like a trapped fish. Not that fishes are usually trapped, nor in mazes, but whatever. Get a couple of them warm. That's the one. That's absolutely the one. That's going to be the Killing Corridor 1.0. There you go. We have successfully tested and found the new one. Perfect. I'll quickly run, because I know I'm going to get the question. I'll quickly run a couple of spiders. I'll quickly run a couple of dogs. I'll quickly run maybe just like a couple of bears. Nothing too crazy though. I mean, something that isn't just like your traditional zombie, although I probably should have gone zombie bears instead of regular bears, so they're not going to attack. There's baby bears now? Alright, I wasn't expecting that at all. I need zombie bear. Get a couple of you, because look, all the dogs are running, the spiders are running. The spiders can jump at you, but if you build some walls down the end down here, you wouldn't have to worry about that anyway, even if they are coming from the opposite direction, but they all path. Oh, you're slow and lumbering now. That's different. They used to be super bloody fast, but now the bears are a bit more of a a bit more of a zombified glacier than anything else. But the dogs still drop, the spider zombies drop, the bears eventually will drop. That's fine. In fact, can you hurry up, please? Oh, now you're fast. Now you're fast. I'll shoot you as well to try and get your attention. Come on, come up. Up the top. Through you go, and down you go. Perfect. So for one last piece, this is something I do get asked quite a lot. Just gonna build yourself a little bunker down the end where you're gonna be standing. Obviously, you're not really copying any damage from the zombies themselves, but you are going to get a couple of bits of random cop vomit that will projectile vomit at you from a distance if they see you. But you're also going to have to deal with zombie vultures, the birds that fly through the sky and will come and peck you. But fortunately for everyone, they're actually super duper easy to deal with, to the fact that you don't actually have to deal with them at all. So I'm going to chuck you in like that. I'm going to put in some doors on the back just because I like things to look like they make sense. I'll go some cheeky, yep, pink iron double doors. Why not? Chuck you on the back side. Are you not gonna go where I want? Yeah, there you go. That was weird. It was just all over the place. But once you have something like this, you've got a little bunker for you to stand in, a little claustrophobic, but it's fine. You can stand here and fire all day, and then on the roof, all you gotta do is just make some spikes. Regular wooden spikes will do, because they're gonna one-shot, even on high difficulties, they're gonna one-shot all of the vultures. Vultures are gonna swoop down, try and peck you through the concrete, swoop into the spikes, and immediately die. Super simple. You don't have to think about them. So here we go, just to show you what I'm talking about. I'm sitting happily in my little bunker in there. There's some pigeons up the top who are fluttering and looking real annoyed. So if I turn that AI on, they swoop down and immediately lick the barbs of my spikes. The rest of them have gotten distracted by the looks of things. You want to actually come and fight me, please? Just that little bits? No. Okay, well, thank you to this one vulture then for proving the point. But yeah, as they swoop down to attack you, they will hit those and immediately die. In fact, can I... Hang on, you, come here. Come and fight me. Down you come, swoop on down, straight into the spikes again. So yeah, you don't have to worry about the vultures. They'll take care of themselves. Just chuck some spikes up there and you're good. But there you go. It's good to be back. I've chucked a ladder on the back here. It's 2 blocks high, so you can make the jump up to your bunker, but the zombies can't. You can chuck a barricade in the front of this. What barricade that's going to be, I'm not going to tell you. That'll have to be the subject for another video, because there is so many options, good options, and some slightly less good options that you can use. But that is the basics of how to build, well, a horde base in 7 Days 1.0, but specifically the Killing Corridor 1.0. It's like coming back to a warm hug from your mum. It just feels good, comforting, and amazing. There you have it. So if you want to survive a Blood Moon Horde but you don't know how, that is how you build a very easy horde base to try and keep yourself safe. Again, doesn't have to be concrete, can be wood, can be cobblestone. If you're going to use flimsy materials though, make sure you're upgrading the pylons with the best material you have. But just build that, sit in your bunker, shoot the zombies, and live to see another week. But speaking of coming back for another week, I'm going to have to leave this episode here and come back and do some more base building and some more testing and some more experimenting, and then, of course, a new series in 7 days. Not the stun baton only series though, we're still a couple of thousand subscribers away from doing that. At 100,000, I will use the worst weapon in the game for an entire series, which is going to suck. I'm not excited about that, so please don't subscribe, because I do not want to do that. But I will come back and play more 7 days in another episode, because this episode is done. So thank you guys for watching. Most of all, thank you to the patrons of Patreon who made this episode possible. If you liked, make sure you hit the like button down below, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter. If I don't talk to you there first, I will see you in the next episode. Have a good one.